While the majority of their competitors remained hidden away in their garages, hoping to escape the predicted rainfall, Ferrari made a powerful declaration of their intentions by venturing out onto the Barcelona circuit for the second day of private testing. This event marked the first time the public could truly observe the new SF26 vehicle in motion, and it certainly lived up to expectations. Charles Leclerc was at the controls during the morning session, and according to all the information that has emerged from the highly confidential closed-door event, it proved to be an excellent day for the Italian squad. In fact, considering the car operates under completely new regulations, it was nearly a flawless introduction. It was a shakedown that proceeded without encountering a single issue. Ferrari was the inaugural team to emerge onto the track as soon as the pit lane became active at 9 o'clock in the morning. This action represents more than a mere symbolic statement. It is an unmistakable indicator of a squad that is thoroughly prepared, well-organized, and self-assured in their new vehicle. They did not squander a single moment, and the vehicle appeared poised and stable from the very beginning. There were no significant issues, no catastrophic failures, and no expensive errors. While other teams, such as the new Audi and Cadillac initiatives, faced various technical difficulties on their first day, Ferrari appeared to have everything perfectly managed. This seamless, trouble-free commencement is precisely the kind of groundwork the team required to build upon following a very challenging and disappointing 2025 season. It speaks volumes regarding the efforts undertaken at Maranello during the winter months. The team has evidently gained wisdom from past errors and has constructed a vehicle that is not only swift but also resilient. The single most critical factor for Ferrari today was dependability. With entirely new power units, a fresh chassis, and a radically different aerodynamic philosophy, the primary concern for every team is that the vehicle might simply break down. However, the SF26 operated with the precision of a fine timepiece. Leclerc completed a highly impressive 64 laps during the morning session alone, which equates to nearly a full race distance at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. This is a monumental accomplishment for the very first day of running a brand new car. It signifies that the new Ferrari power unit, designated the PU676, is not only potent but also fundamentally robust and reliable. This is excellent news not just for the primary Ferrari team, but also for their customer teams, Haas and Cadillac, who will be utilizing the same engine. A dependable power unit forms the bedrock of any championship effort, and Ferrari seems to have perfected it. This early reliability provides them with a substantial foundation to develop for the remainder of the season, permitting them to concentrate on performance enhancements rather than chasing persistent technical problems. Even their adversaries were impressed. Following the first day of testing, Mercedes driver George Russell mentioned he was impressed by the high number of laps the Ferrari-powered Haas team had accomplished. He stated that it demonstrated Ferrari had performed admirably with their new engine. This constitutes high praise from one of their major competitors. Could this be the year that Ferrari finally gets everything right from the outset? Or are we witnessing a misleading glimpse of hope before the genuine difficulties emerge? The day was not solely about accumulating laps, however. We also received our initial small indication of the car's inherent speed. During the dry morning session, Leclerc set an unofficial lap time of 1 minute, 20.844 seconds, according to the Spanish outlet Soy Motor, which had reporters present at the location. Nevertheless, it is essential not to place excessive importance on these headline times. Teams operate vastly different programs during testing, utilizing varying fuel loads, engine settings, and tire compounds. What is considerably more intriguing and potentially more telling is what transpired when the weather shifted. It is during these demanding circumstances that the genuine nature of a car can be exposed. Around 10:30 in the morning, the forecasted rain finally arrived. This presented the two teams on track with a valuable chance to evaluate their new vehicles in wet conditions. And in these tricky, low-grip situations, the Ferrari was substantially quicker. Leclerc's best wet lap was 1 minute, 32.88 seconds. In comparison, Max Verstappen's best was 1 minute, 38.254 seconds. That represents a massive disparity of over 6 seconds. Once more, we must exercise caution about forming definitive judgments. However, to be that much faster in the rain is an extremely, very positive indicator for Ferrari. It implies that the SF26 possesses excellent mechanical grip and is a vehicle that the drivers can have confidence in during difficult circumstances. A car that performs well in the wet is frequently a car that is well balanced and features a good chassis, which bodes well for the remainder of the season. It indicates that the aerodynamic and mechanical grip are functioning harmoniously, providing the driver with the assurance to push forward even when conditions are at their worst. This is a very encouraging sign for a team that has occasionally grappled with unpredictable car balance in the past. Another fascinating detail that was observed was the Ferrari's active aerodynamics in operation. On the main straight, the rear wing of the SF26 was seen opening up. This is a new characteristic for the 2026 cars. The wings open on the straights to minimize drag and enhance top speed, then close in the corners to generate more downforce. Witnessing it function correctly on the first day is another indication that Ferrari is in command of their situation. While Ferrari and Red Bull were occupied putting their new cars through their paces, it was an extremely quiet day for most of the other teams because rain was predicted for the afternoon. Numerous teams, including Mercedes, Haas, and Alpine, made the calculated choice not to run at all. They were unwilling to risk squandering one of their 3 precious testing days in potentially meaningless wet conditions. This meant that Ferrari and Red Bull had the circuit entirely to themselves for the majority of the day. This could provide them with a slight but noteworthy advantage, as they were able to accumulate valuable data in both wet and dry conditions, something their competitors missed out on. This cautious strategy from their rivals could potentially benefit Ferrari as the season advances. While the other teams conserved a test day, they forfeited the opportunity to comprehend how their new vehicles behave in the rain. This could be a substantial drawback if the initial races of the season are impacted by precipitation. In the afternoon, Lewis Hamilton was scheduled to take over from Charles Leclerc. This would mark his first time driving the new Ferrari. It was also reported that Leclerc's race engineer, Brian Bozzi, would be collaborating with Hamilton in the afternoon. This is because Hamilton is acquiring a new race engineer for the 2026 season, following a difficult year with his previous engineer in 2025. So, what conclusions can we draw from Ferrari's first day on track? It remains very early, naturally, but the indications are remarkably positive. The SF26 appears dependable, it seems manageable to drive, and it looks quick, particularly in the wet. The team seems thoroughly prepared and organized. They were the first on track and finished a substantial number of laps without any issues. This stands in sharp contrast to some other teams that have either encountered technical problems or have not even run their cars yet. For the long-suffering Ferrari fans, the Tifosi, this is precisely the kind of news they have been envisioning. After years of misleading hopes and frustrating letdowns, there is a genuine feeling of hope and optimism building around the team. The new car, the blockbuster driver pairing of Leclerc and Hamilton, and the clean slate provided by the new regulations appear to have given Ferrari a much-needed fresh start. The arrival of a 7-time world champion in Lewis Hamilton has unquestionably introduced a new level of energy and anticipation to the team. Of course, it is still very early, and testing is merely testing. The genuine test will occur at the first race of the season in Australia. But for now, Ferrari can be very, very pleased with their efforts. They have passed this initial crucial examination with outstanding results. The question now is whether they can sustain this momentum and convert this early promise into authentic championship contention. The fact that the car operated flawlessly for nearly a full race distance is the most significant takeaway. In a year with so many new elements, reliability is paramount. You cannot win a race if you cannot finish it. Ferrari has demonstrated that they possess a car capable of covering the distance. Now they need to show that they have a car that can secure victories. Based on what we observed today, they are certainly progressing in the right direction.